Hey, 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 it's your girl, Barbie J. Hey, did you see that? Hey, everybody, we're back. Season 8, Episode 1 of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Yes, they are back. The Long Game, this one was called. And, did it leave me like, ooh, I can't wait to see, or next week? No, it didn't leave me like that. But it was okay. It was interesting. Yes, I'm curious about next week. But you just let me know in the comment section. But before I get started with this review, I want to first give a shout out to the people in my commenting section, Bobby Ray and Vicky Young. I look forward to your comments on this video as well. Let me know what you think, anybody who's watching, because I don't know. This episode was, like I said, it was okay. So, it ended with that girl running out there screaming, Alyssa running out of David's house screaming. So, David tells Leo, bring that chick inside, bring her back in. And Leo like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I said, wait a minute, Leo, you supposed to be... He was like, nah, I ain't got nothing to do with it. So David had to manhandle homegirl and drag her behind into the house. I said, damn, that looked bad if the neighbors is watching. Oh, Lord Jesus. So, she's screaming and everything. And he gets her in the house and she's on the floor. He throw her on the floor. He like threw her on the floor. I said, damn. I bet you he never did that to Veronica because she'd have messed him up. You know that's right. So anyway, so he gets her in there and she's like, I got you now. I got you now. You going to jail and blah, blah, blah. I got what she said? She said, I got vaginal bruising and all this stuff. And she going to take, he said, I knew there was something going on. He felt that she was up to something. And she said, yeah, you going to jail with all them people you put in prison. And he was like, he just didn't understand what was going on. She's like, you took my sister away from me and you killed her and her blood is on your hands. And he's like, I didn't kill your sister. He said, I took y'all away from a violent situation. Your father was abusing you. And she was like, oh, I'd rather have been, it was better than what I went through, I guess, in the houses or homes she had to stay in. I don't know. So she was upset, and all of this was about revenge and getting back to him. He took her sister away, and oh, it was crazy. And so she's like, I'm going to call a cop. He's like, call a cop. She's like, I don't have my phone. He gave her phone, told her to dial the number. And when she dialed it, he pulled this little remote control thing out of his pocket, and he played back all over the house speakers her voice and what she said. And she's like, what's that? What's that? I said, he said, that's some rich shit. That's some rich people shit, he told her. I said, it sure is, because he had me going too. I was like, oh, snap, David. I hear you. He said, I knew you was up to something. I got recordings and videos of you in every room. I said, oh, snap. So 911, I guess it was a joke because it didn't help her. Anyway, so she hung up from 911. And then the police rolled up because neighbors said they heard a woman screaming and crying. The police showed up, spoke to Leo. He telling the people from the house in there, is there a woman? Yes. You got some ID? Yes. Let me see your ID. The police go in there and check. And they talking to David. And, Miss, are you okay? Miss, are you okay? She's like, oh, he likes to play those rough games and stuff like that. I said, oh, Lord. He looking at her like, I want to slap you. But then the police officer looking at him, looking at her like, I want to slap you. He's like, Miss, are you sure you okay? She's like, no, I'm okay. Because she's sitting there holding her arm, holding her arm, holding her arm. I said, yeah, because he had to drag your crazy, messed up behind into the house. Then she up there apologizing and I'm sorry and all this stuff. It was like, you got to understand how I was feeling. And he was like, get out of my goddamn house. And that was how he felt. And I didn't blame him. Her apologies didn't mean nothing. So the cops left. Leo came in there and he told Leo, look, you supposed to be my protection. You supposed to protect me. The next time that happened, he said, the next time that happened, you getting fired. And I said, I hear that, because Leo was ridiculous. I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again. Then they go over to Wyatt, and this lady found his body, and the two police officers are talking. I don't know who they are. And it's basically, yeah, they said, is he dead? And the EMS is like, no, he has a faint pulse. We're taking him to the hospital. And they were like, well, who is, you know, they look in, they said the car belongs to Jim Cryer. And then they found his, Wyatt's wallet, and they said, oh, this is the guy that escaped from the hospital that we lost. He said, boy, that kid got 9 lives. She's like, not really, or something like that. The lady was like, the female cop was like, not really. It's going to catch up with him. It's going to catch up. And it sure is, because Wyatt, since I've been watching him, died about 3 times. I'm just saying, it seemed like he died about 3 times. So she called the precinct to let the chief know that they found Wyatt, that they got him. And she happened to call that black officer. I forgot his name. Somebody remember his name, let me know. And that's the one that went to school with Catherine Cryer's daughter. So the black officer went back there and told Catherine what happened. You know, that they found Wyatt, but he's at the hospital. He tried to kill himself. She's like, oh, of course he did. He said, no, the first ones were superficial wounds. These were deeper cuts and stuff. He was found in his car. And she's like, oh my God, I need to use your phone. And he's like, I can't let you use my phone. And all this stuff. She gonna try to get this man. She thinks money, money, money. That boy don't care nothing about no money. He don't want her money. He just like, I can't lose my job. He want his insurance. He want his pension. That's what he want, Catherine. And so she's begging for that information. But before he came in, she was being annoyed by the inmate in the next cell. The inmate in the next cell kept bothering her and saying stuff to her. And Catherine was like, could you shut up, please? And that lady was like, honey, you gonna need a bitch like me when you get into prison. And she's like, I'm not going to prison. She said, oh, yes, you are. She said, it's going to be a whole lot worse than this. You need somebody like me. And I was like, oh, tell her. Tell her. Because that's the truth. You don't know who. Catherine's still sitting up there being nasty to people. She needs to check that. She better check it. Everybody can't be bought off. Then there was Veronica and Samuel, and he's like starting to like, damn girl, you look good, you sexy, you know, you sexy girl. I knew that when I first saw you. I was trying to play it off, you know, I'm trying to play it down so my wife didn't see and stuff. And she said, I told you that I was good. She said, you messing with all them little young girls and stuff, all that inexperience. I was like, oh, shoot. And he said, you know, when you turned me on, when you pulled out that gun. And she was like, oh, so you like it like that. You that type of person. He said, yeah. He said, you see, you turn. She said, I'm a ruthless bitch. And he was like, yeah, I know. You know, and he said, I'm turned on right now. She said, oh, really? Then let's go again. He like, damn, girl, again. You know, so they were going back and forth with all that small talk and stuff. And what else? He was talking about, what was it? So they mentioned something about his wife. Oh, she looking him up and down, talking about how good he look and stuff. She said, you just beautiful. Your mom and daddy must be so proud. He said, you beautiful too. And she offered, she said she want to like spend time together. Let's spend time together. You know, he said, I thought that's what we were doing. She's like, you know what I mean? You know, and he's like, I ain't leaving my wife. You know, I ain't leaving my wife. And she was like, whatever. She said, I have a feeling she going to leave you sometime soon. I said, see, he better watch out. Because Veronica going to slip and tell her when she there working. So the girl could get pissed and leave. And Samuel being stupid. He being real stupid right now. I said, oh, Lord. So he's getting dressed, talking about he going. And he's like, are we good? You know, and she's like, are we good? He's like, yeah, are we good? And she said, oh, you little side piece. You know, she said, yeah, we okay, but you going to have to get rid of her. He's like, what? What you crazy? She said, no, that's going to be my job now. I said, oh, okay, Veronica. She want to be the side piece? Okay. So then she tells him he could take what he wants as far as that money on the bed, you know. And he was like, I don't know. He said, I feel like it's a trick or something. She's like, what? He's like if I take the money, then I'm in it for the short term. But if I don't take it, then I'm there for the long term, hanging around. And she said, you know you want it. You know you need it. You could take the money. Oh, excuse me. But he didn't take it. And when he left, she's like, he know his ass took some of that money. I know he took some of it. She said, wasting my time on these little boys. I said, what is wrong with her? And then they got scenes for next week showing her with the security dude. I'm telling you, she's a freaking hoe. Veronica's a hoe. And I'm trying to understand how she was doing all this harm when she was with David. Or was she doing it? Or is she just doing it now because she don't have David? Anyway, let me know how you feel, what you think in the comment section. What else? Then there was Hannah. They show Hannah and the attorney, I forgot that attorney's name. And they go in there with the accountant. And I'm just like, is it me? But one of those accountants look different. Didn't they look different? And it looked like the two that when they showed them in several episodes before in season 7, only one of those attorneys looked the same. The rest, one of them does not. I'm hoping I'm not crazy, but that's what I saw. But the accountants come in there and they trying to get, they talking to meeting Hannah and they trying to get her to sign all these papers. And she said, I will sign it after I look it over and go and show it to Miss Cryer. And they were like, oh, we don't have time. You're going to have to be able to make important decisions at the last moment. What I didn't get about the attorney though, Marty, right? His name was Marty. He's coming in there. First of all, he told Hannah, I don't know which episode it was, that she's not expected to know all of this stuff at once. This is only a few days after her signing that stuff. So what did he expect her to know? And he's like, Hannah, do you understand? You need me to explain. And I'm like, Marty, you're the one that told her. Tyler, that's what I'm talking about, Tyler Perry. You got to pay attention to what you write in the scripts. Because in that script, you had Marty tell Hannah it was okay. She's not expected to know everything. And then like that, she could still show it to Catherine. And Catherine to tell her what to do. It's just so, I didn't like that part. And so they got upset because Hannah wouldn't sign anything. And I don't blame her. I go to the doctor's office and I'm like, they want me to sign papers and hurry up and get in there. I said, first of all, y'all should have gave me this at the beginning. I said, you ain't going to give me 2,000 pages and have me read it in the 15, 20 minutes I wait for y'all to call me in. And then it's saying, sign this, saying you received this and received that. And I ain't receive it. So I be in the doctor's office and I didn't receive this. I ain't signing it. And they start going looking for all them daggone forms. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. Anyway, so Hannah went and signed it. I was proud of her for not signing it. They leave out the house. And all of a sudden, them two guys are talking, saying she's incompetent. Who leaves it to their maid? Oh, we're going to have, they're going to do something with Catherine. What was they supposed to do to Catherine? Saying shit, I guess saying it because they saying the maid was incompetent. It was something with Catherine they said they were going to do. I said, this don't make no kind of sense. They trying to steal her money. They don't want her to look over it. And they gonna ask Marty what he thinks about it. They want to do the same thing. They want him to join in, and he's like, nope, just do what Catherine asked you to do. I don't want to have any part of this. So they're talking about going to gym and maybe them gymming them. They could see a judge and have the power of attorney revoked because Hannah isn't, out. Something like Hannah can't deal with it or handle it. I was like, it's been how many days? It's only been a few days. I don't even think it's been a week since Hannah signed them papers. You know how these shows stretch on. Anyway, who was next? The next is Landon. Oh, Landon and Oliver. I don't know about those two. They always bickering. But Landon, he was on the phone talking to somebody and found out it was a reporter. And he wanted her to go and say something to Hannah regarding Candace and do this and upset her to the point that she will call Candace. I don't know. Oliver was working on something, but it's all about the president-elect. And he wanted to make sure the president-elect and Candace get back together because the president-elect is sad. He's been sad for a long time. So Landon is working on something to try to get them, get things going well with them. So what else happened? How long he had so when Oliver gets mad that he's on the phone and he starts fussing at him, and then he says, "Tell me something, Oliver. How long have you had a cocaine habit?" Oliver's face was like, "I don't have no cocaine habit. I don't have." "Yeah, yes you do." He says, "Sometimes you're a little this, sometimes you're a little that. You have a habit." "How long?" "I don't have a habit." He gets up and walks out or something. So they could have left that scene out, honestly. That's just my thought. What was next? Hannah gets home. She drives up. Some chick is in front of her house talking about, can she have a cup of sugar? Who the hell gonna borrow a cup of sugar? First of all, it's nighttime. You out on the street asking for a cup of sugar, and then you trying to offer to go in with her, go into the house. And I was like, "Hannah, don't let her go in that house with you. Don't let her go in that house. You don't know who she is. And standing out there, she ain't had no pocketbook, no ID, no nothing. You don't know who she is." But see, Hannah's head was in another space because she was looking out the door with that window when those two accountants were out there whispering stuff and talking stuff, and she could see that they were planning and plotting and stuff. So that's why she sat down and opened up her laptop, and she started probably Googling stuff and trying to learn about what they were doing. That's one thing about Hannah, and I like that. She didn't just take on the responsibility. You know, when you take on a job and a task, somebody entrusts you to do something and you go and do it. I'm like that. I'll try to learn about it first, and that's what she's doing, and she's protecting that lady's money. So I love Hannah for doing that. But that girl, back to that girl at the door trying to get in there, and Hannah was like, "Something right with this chick." And she goes, she said, "Where do you say you live again? What's your name?" She told her name. "Where you live again?" "Next door." "Oh, Miss such and such's house." And she was like, "Miss Hill's house?" She said, "Yeah, I'm her daughter." She said, "You are?" She said, "What's her name?" "What's her name?" She like, She said, "Yeah, I don't know who you are, but you need to get up away from me before I call the cops." She said, "I don't know who you are." She's like, "But miss, you're not going to let..." She said, "What do you want? What do you want?" And she started throwing these questions at her, asking stuff about Candace and asking was she a mean mother, and was her husband, her baby's father this, and did you shield the son with it? And when the bullets was flying, and were you that bad a mother and put her out at 14? And it was just all these questions she was throwing there. And Hannah was like, "Get away from my house," and ran inside. I said, "Now why Oliver have that woman do that? I don't get that. Just so she could do whatever." Anyway, like I said, he got something up his sleeve. What else happened? They showing Catherine Cryer. Okay, I said about that. She was talking to that inmate. And then what else? There was something else. I know I'm missing something. Hold on, my notes. Samuel. He's in the car, and he calls Derek to cover for him, and Derek's like, "I already did. I told him we were out drinking, and then they went to Mackey's or someplace, Mackey's or whatever." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Where are you, dude?" He said, "Yo, I'm with the other girls. The other girl." He said, "No, you're not. You're not with her either, because she called me too. So where you at?" And he was like, okay, man, I met somebody new." He said, "You couldn't tell me that? You felt like you couldn't tell me that you met somebody new? What's up with that?" And he said, "Dude, how's things going with Veronica? Oh yeah, we got some things in place. Everything's looking good. We're going to get her back." He said, "Dude, you not messing with her, are you?" Derek's like, "Samuel, you ain't messing with her." And he's like, No. He said, "I'm serious because she's dangerous." He said, "Who want that old chick? Ain't nobody want that old chick." And he's like, "I'm telling you, she's dangerous. Be careful." Be careful, be careful. And so he told her, don't mess with her. And so when Samuel goes home, he gets home, and here his wife questioning him like crazy. She questioned him and asking him questions. And you don't have your phone? And I got my phone, girl. You know how I am with this and stuff. And he was like, she's like, oh, come on. You couldn't answer your phone. Well, you know how I am. She said, what was it? Because I'm trying to figure out how did they get into that conversation about her outfit? Because after she got on him about not calling and everything, she said, and you just gonna stand there. You don't see me in this. You don't see me. What? I said, see, that's where he messed up. I didn't know he was such a jerk. Samuel's a damn jerk. And she need to leave him. And I'm sure that's what Veronica will make sure she want to leave him. Because he ain't worth staying with. I'm trying to understand why she with him now if he cheats on her all the time. And then just like these men, your boy knows you cheat. You got a side piece and he covering for you with the side piece. He covering for you for the side piece and everybody. I'm like, you lying to his wife or what? I don't like that. So Derek, you lost points with me with that because you acting like you a Christian man. So you should be straightening out Samuel. Tell him he need to stop doing that mess. Because that ain't cool. He got a good wife and he need to let the side chicks and everybody go. Anyway, let me stop preaching. Because that's how it is. But anyway, the next morning, Hannah gets a, oh, no. Let me go back. So, once she's saying, you don't see me in a sexy lingerie, she telling Samuel and stuff. And he was like, oh, man. Oh, he said, yeah, it looks nice. She said, is that all you got to say? That's it? He said, no, babe, you know, you look good. You good. She said, okay, come on. Because she said, I'm horny. You know, he was like, he said, nah, I'm tired. She said, tired? Tired from what? What? I'm the one that worked all day. He said, see how you do that? See how men change stuff around, though? See how they change the story and twist stuff? She's like, I'm horny, and he don't want to do that. And he's like, you know what? She probably gave you. She said she worked all day. I'm the one that worked all day. He said, yeah, she probably gave you that. And she's like, she did. He was like, but if I wanted to see her, I would have her here or go over to her house or whatever. I said, ain't this some stuff? How this brother is doing this? And he made his wife feel so bad that she would walk away and take it off. I'll take it off. And that was a hot little outfit she had on with the heels and everything. That's why she was mad, because she was horny. She was waiting for him and his ass out getting it on with Veronica. He a dog. A dirty dog is what he is. Anyway, what else? So Hannah arrives to the crier's house that morning. And yes, it's morning. And so the guy from the church called her, the one that helped her with all that, trying to understand her power of attorney responsibilities. And he calls her to see how things are going. And of course, he's like, I want to take you out. I still want to take you out. And she's saying how things went okay. She said, it's just a lot of questions. I have more questions. He's like, I could walk you through it. I could help you out. And she said, no, that's okay. I'm just going to meet with my boss today and speak to her about it, you know. And he's like, well, he said, well, that's a shame. You know, he's like, that's a shame because I really want to take you out. And she's like, that's nice. But right now I got a lot going on. I ain't got time for that. And I said, I hear you. And he said, well, since he still want to take it out, she'll consider it, but you got to leave her alone. But something seems sketchy about him now. I mean, with him knowing now she got this money and power of attorney, I don't know. And I don't care if he a church person or not, because them church people is just as bad, honey. Them church people, you got to look out for them. They scandalous too in many ways. They will steal your money, cheat on your man, take your man, and all that stuff. So, anyhow, then it goes to, who's it, Landon and Oliver. And, you know, that female gets on the phone, that reporter, and she tells her what happened, what went down with Hannah, and how she was very upset. And she didn't realize that all of these things, Candace went through all of these things. She didn't realize it, but she said she could tell by the expression on Hannah's face that it was true. You know, so he's like, oh, that's great. That's great. And I'm like, why are you going to upset the mama? And I still don't understand why Oliver was there, because they got Landon and Oliver in there talking, and they talking, I guess they were talking about election stuff and which states they got or whatever. And so then President-elect walks in and asks Oliver to step out. And so he tells Landon that he had a dream about Candace. And then he says, sir, I think it's that you just really miss her. And he does. He misses her, you know. And so they're talking about what the dream was about. He said something like she was on fire and he couldn't save her. And then he said there was something with some bears in there. I said, bears? Lions and tigers and bears? Oh my. No. I'm like, what is he talking about? So he said there was, she was on fire, and he said, sir, you know, she's calming. He said, you just miss her. And he's like, yeah, I do. He said, but she's coming around. She's calming down. And he said, how you know? You spoke to her? He said, yeah, I've been in touch with her. You know, he said, well, what did she say? What did she say? Landon took it too far. He said, what did she say? Did she say that bitch ass? Or, you know, she was like, that bitch ass this and that and that. And Landon just went on and on and on and on. And the president-elect is looking at him like he wear lifts in his shoes and he this and and then he stopped. He said, wow, she said all of that? And he was like, no. He said, oh, so that's how you feel about me. He said, no, don't take it like that, sir. Don't take it. He's like, that's how you feel? He said, first of all, I don't wear lifts in my shoes. He said, no, sir, I didn't mean that. And then the president-elect laughed and stuff. He's like, I'm just kidding with you. He said, but he thinks he should go and check and go see Candace, because he's concerned about her and he's worried. So he told Landon to take a flight to go see Candace and check on her to see if she's okay. And Landon said he would do that. So that was good. So that was this episode of The Have and the Have-Nots, the beginning of season 8. I hope you enjoyed my recap. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye. Peace.